Kia ora team, welcome to DayZ Tips. This is part of a series of tips that I'm going to be doing about navigating and finding your way around the maps, which can be quite daunting, especially for console players who maybe don't have access to things like iSurvive and various other third-party tools. As I've said before in some of my other vids, what you need to do is you need to get yourself a tourist map, and you can find those in tourist camps and you can find them in hunters' stands and a couple of other places, but predominantly those two. Now, if we have a look at this map will give us some general ideas, but there are things that are not on this map that you just need to be aware of. So there's some tricks to using them and navigating. For example, there's a, probably can't see it maybe now, but there is a telegraph line or a telegraph pole, possibly power pole system that runs over there. That's a smaller system which is not marked on the map. The larger systems, as you can see here, looping across the map, they are marked, but the smaller systems tend not to be. Now, one of the other things that's not marked on the map is the smaller dirt roads. There is at the bend of that road there a small dirt road which goes off down towards the woods. It's not marked on the map. However, general features like topography, some of the buildings, like we've got outskirts of Berezino, we've got medical buildings and various other things that I've talked about before. We've got fuel service station there. We've got churches, police stations, supermarkets, all kinds of interesting bits and pieces. I'm not sure what the eyeglass thing is. I will cover that in another one. I want to go to this little town here. Now, I happen to know that I'm at the junction of the larger, darker colored road and the smaller road there at the edge of the forest. When you're using these maps to get around, my advice would be you stick to predominantly using the features like the roads and the forests and the rivers. You can also find trails like the green trails. They're very handy to follow, and the red trails. And I also believe there's yellow trails scattered throughout as well, marked on the map. If I can find one. I can't find one for now, but you will have to take my word for it that there are. So, I am here. I have followed this forest feature. I can now see that the road curves off to my left. This is the road that I want. This is the road that is going to take me to this town. It passes through the forest, and then it brings me in next to some village buildings and what looks to be a restaurant, and up in the middle, in the center of the building, looks to be where the water is. So this is where I'm going. And that is the basics of how to use the map. Very, very handy to have one. They really do not take up a lot of space. It takes up only 2. It really is something that you should have if you're serious about navigating until you get used to where things are. And even if you do get used to where things are, it is so very easy to get turned around, and it is so very helpful to have a map. If you can find a road sign, you can find where you are. If you can see something like a feature, which is very, very noticeable, like you've got, for example, here, a castle. You've got small lakes. You've got various other bits and pieces that you can find. You can always find yourself. And once you've found out where you are, you can find out how to get to where you want to go to. And I'll cover other navigational skills in other videos. Ta-ta for now.
PlayStation